Hello, StarCraft fans! This is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. This is a game between DieZaCRo and PengWin on Paladino Terminal, the latter edition. In the top left side of the map, we have the red Zerg player. It is DieZaCRo. And in the bottom right side of the map, we have the blue Zerg player. It is PengWin from Storm Gaming. So excellent GM level ZVZ for you guys today. There have been other ZVZs from PengWin before, and they are all very excellent. Very excellent indeed. You made a wise choice by clicking on this replay today. Alright, so Paladino Terminal. This is your natural base if you're in the bottom right corner, just up and a little bit to the right. And this is the ramp you go down. I'm not entirely sure there are any gold bases. No, there are not. There are not any gold bases. No rocks you have to knock down to access an expansion, which is very nice for Zerg, because they have a hard time with that in the early game, and other races do not. Looks like both players are not going for a hatch first play against Zerg, which is pretty much a solid idea at this point in time. There goes the extractor just now popping for PengWin, and it's already done for DieZaCRo. Already done. PengWin's pool is a little bit quicker. DieZaCRo is a little bit behind in the expansion now coming in for PengWin. About the exact same time here for both of these players on these hatcheries. Yeah, I mean, this is pretty much the exact same build for both of these dudes. Nothing too crazy coming in. You can probably tell by my voice, I'm getting a little sick. Why is it that when your kids bring something home, it bothers them for like a day and they're fine, but then as soon as it gets to the parents, you're just like hit by a truck? Like, I'm having sinus congestion, I'm having throat soreness, I'm having all sorts of gross things that he never had to deal with, and I just know this is going to keep at me for a week, which I'm not super pleased about. But hopefully I can get some good rest after I cast these games and keep my buffer up at 7 days, and then everybody will be pleased, and then I'll be back at 100% full health soon enough. Alright, so both players getting speed, getting queens, getting slowlings as well. Anybody going for an early baneling nest is what I like to see here. That does imply some pretty solid aggression in the plans. Later baneling nests are just there for defense. Both sets of lings pass each other here. They're not interested in fighting whatsoever. They're both interested in allowing the scout to happen here. Red lings here for DieZaCRo, moving right into the main base. Right into the main base here of PengWin. Getting a good scout off, not seeing anything. I guess seeing a lack of a spawning pool is pretty good. And then meanwhile, PengWin's lings getting inside, also getting stabbed by a queen, but both of them do survive long enough to do another scout. And again, seeing not much of anything. Oh, but they do catch this baneling nest. There it is. Good scout there by PengWin, recognizing the ability of banelings that DieZaCRo will have soon enough. Now, how does he respond to this? A baneling nest of his own is exactly how he responds to this. Throwing it up at his natural base. Couple queens defending that front door. I think all the lings are dead for PengWin. Yep. Both players taking Overlord at the top of this weird factory-looking thing to see what's coming across the map. And the answer is 100 zerglings out of DieZaCRo. I don't know if PengWin can hold this. He's got a handful of lings here. He's up 27 to 16 harvesters. And here we go. DieZaCRo moving right on in. And how this going to go? Not very well, I don't think. Drones forced to fight for their lives right here. Bad feeling. Bad feeling for the Zerg player. It's a pretty good surround by the drones, but I just don't know if it's going to be enough. So many dead drones, but look at that stacking. Oh, the stacking was good. Only 8 drones lost for 20 lings. That's definitely fair. Banelings getting target fired by the queens and the lings. DieZaCRo not able to get the hits, big juicy hits on those drones like he would have liked to. Lings messing with the natural base as well. Again, queens, again, drones fighting for their own lives at the same time. So defensive banelings now coming in for PengWin. And DieZaCRo pulling back, recognizing he did not get as much damage done as he would have liked to there, but he did even up that worker count. PengWin was up quite a bit there, maybe 8 to 10 workers, but now it's 17 to 16. DieZaCRo has a lead. More lings moving across the map here to get some aggression on against PengWin, but again, 2 banelings. Oh, gonna get a hit. No, DieZaCRo babysitting his lings a little bit too well to just walk into those 2 banelings. That would be a terrible move on a GM's part here. Trying to hit the banelings with a single ling. Not gonna happen thanks to the escort that PengWin gave his banelings with zerglings of his own. And continuing to send them on across. While droning up back home, both players are getting 3 drones at a time right now, which means we're not going to see insane amounts. Baneling hit of the game right there. Oh, no. DieZaCRo, a little careless. 45 dead lings. I feel like at least half of those were in this little trail here at the natural base that got melted by 2 banes smashing into them as they try to conga line their way into PengWin's base. Ouch. Ouch, ouch indeed. Pretty good baneling hit there, PengWin. Nicely done. All right, what do we got here? Back at home for DieZaCRo. Not much. I think he was kind of planning to go with this baneling stuff and try to kill his opponent early, but that did not happen, mostly thanks to those baneling hits. Absolutely, mostly thanks to those Baneling hits. Third base possibly going to come up here for PengWin, killing this Ling that's trying to block it. And actually, the Ling manages to escape temporarily, actually for a long time, heading on down here into the main base of PengWin, getting scout off. Oh, and then turning around to attack and dying. In the meantime, it is now PengWin's turn to be aggressive, moving out across the map. He's got slow Banelings. He's got the Zerglings. He has no upgrades on anybody right now. Roach Warren coming in for DieZaCRo, but it's not even close to being complete yet. 2 Banelings defending for DieZaCRo and a handful of Lings. He is severely outnumbered, but PengWin decides it's time to go home. Oh, he could have gotten some good damage done there. I guess more reinforcing Lings do show up, more Banelings coming in. PengWin didn't feel like making that fight, so he just kind of put some fear into DieZaCRo, forced some Lings out of him, and then pulled back home with his slow Banelings waddling on after. That's one of the things that bothers me about the Baneling pet in World of Warcraft is it doesn't roll behind you when you're on a mount. It just kind of like waddles really fast, which is annoying. Anyway, Baneling's here to defend. Spinecrawler coming up the front of PengWin's natural base as well. Nobody going for a third really yet at this point. It's a little bit too aggressive of a match for that to happen. So Roaches for DieZaCRo and a Spire coming in for PengWin. So we're going to see some very different methods of ZVZ here coming out today. I've been on the end of both of those strategies. I've gone Spire against Roach and lost, and I've gone Roach against Spire and lost. So I think it's more of a macro decision-making thing than Roaches just win or Mutas just win. Also depends on numbers for sure. Third hatch is now coming in for DieZaCRo. Traditional third base location. Some Lings trying to poke on in. Some Lings do get through into PengWin's main base here, scouting out exactly what is going on. And then do get cleaned out as well. Lings trying to run in and pulling back at the number of Banelings. Again, there are 6 Banelings here for PengWin, and he's just not able to get a third base up is the problem. DieZaCRo has a bit of map control, which is weird because I feel like PengWin has more stuff. He does 17 Lings to 10 Lings, 6 Banelings to 6 Banelings. PengWin could take a third base. I'm not sure why he's not doing it, unless it's kind of a 2-base Muta play, which he has perfected and worked on over and over again, which seems moderately possible. Lings killing the Ling. Wow, let's see. PengWin's Zerglings killing DieZaCRo's Ling that was here scouting that third base, and finally he does expand, but way after DieZaCRo. Way after he does. That hatch is already done for DieZaCRo. 47 to 44 total harvesters. I have actually featured DieZaCRo on my channel before. I think I put a link to him when I introduced him earlier in this cast, but anyway, about a year ago, I think is when I cast one of his games. Ling's trying to kill this queen inside PengWin's base. No, not going to happen. Double Roach Warren, rather, and Evolution Chamber coming in for the PengWin. He wants Roaches of his own. A Roach Baneling attack moving in for DieZaCRo. That's a pretty good combination against Ling Baneling, I believe. Slow Overlord for DieZaCRo coming in. Does see the Spire. Immediately throws up Spore Crawlers in his mineral lines. Excellent decision there. But guess what? What is good against Roach Baneling? The answer is Mutalisk. And here we go. Bunch of Mutas out right now. 11 on the field for PengWin. Target firing those Banelings first. Going after them Roaches at the same time. So many dead Roaches from the sky. They can't shoot up. They wish they could, but they unfortunately cannot. Some Lings trying to sneak into this third base for PengWin. Muta's trying to do stuff too, but it's not really working out all that well. Another Slow Overlord coming in for DieZaCRo, scouting this base once again here in the main for PengWin. I'm not sure exactly what he's on about there, but Mutalisks are killing Overlords, Slow Overlords that are too slow to run away from them. And again, that does supply block DieZaCRo. It's 89 to out of 66 available supply for DieZaCRo. Bad feeling. Bad feeling right there. He's going to come back for this one. Yep, this guy's not even running. He's like, I know I'm going to die. I understand. This one, too, scouting the third base. I know I'm going to die. I'm just going to have to go out doing my duty to my queen and my country. It's 89 out of 74 available supply. DieZaCRo making Overlords desperately trying to get back into a place where he can make units, and he'll get there soon enough. He'll get there soon enough. As soon as he recognizes there are Mutas out, I'm sure he was popping additional Overlords to prepare for the onslaughts. He also has, is that 3 Spore Crawlers? 3 Spore Crawlers at this third base. How much does the main base have? It's going to have 2. And the natural is going to have, has 2 as well here. So he is really, really counting on dealing with Mutas here. And you know what? PengWin has 11, but he's not going mass Muta by any stretch. He's got 10 Roaches in production. He's making a Hydralisk den. He's getting +1 missile attack and glial reconstitution, as well as +1 flyer, so he's not completely neglecting his Mutas. I just kind of feel like maybe it was a bit of a fake out as they pick off a couple drones, trying to come down possibly and take down construct a 4th base in this bottom left, but no. Not allowed. Denied by them Mutas. Nidus Worm coming in for PengWin. All right. This could be good. Where are you, Nidus Worm? There you are. Nidus Network. behind this third base. Weird place to scout for DieZaCRo unless he's straight up attacking, which I guess he could possibly do. Lurker Den coming in as well for the PengWin. Getting lurkers across the map is often a difficult thing, but if you just Nidus them in there, it's not a bad situation at all. Infestation Pit coming in for DieZaCRo. I feel like it's a southern name, right? Like DieZaCRo. Let's go on up to the hills and see how DieZaCRo's doing with his horses. That's who DieZaCRo is. Roach is moving into the Nidus network. Nidus swarm erupting inside the main base of DieZaCRo. Overlord scouting this out. You have this little vent area where you can hide things like this, drops and Nidus swarms from your opponent. Actually every base. Both bases have these areas in them. And there it is. There's the eruption. There's the sound that DieZaCRo did not want to hear. Roach is streaming towards this main mineral line. The roaches do have glial reconstitution. They do have +1 missile attack. A bunch of roaches showing up though, and Ravagers no less. And PengWin says, I'm out. I am out. Thank you for playing. Please come on Nidus Swarm and tip your waitresses. And gone. Meanwhile, big roach attack here at the third base of DieZaCRo. Good counter here by PengWin. Going after this third base, just focusing it down. Focusing on roaches, trying to deal with it. A new Nidus Swarm erupting out of the place where the one just died. PengWin trying to keep DieZaCRo on his feet, and the third base does explode. And another Nidus Swarm erupts. Roaches immediately pouring out, going for this main base once again, killing so many drones. So many dead drones. We're at 8 lost, 9 lost, 10 lost, 11 lost for DieZaCRo. More roaches coming up, trying to deal with this thing. And again, the roaches just hit and run and back on out. Do they back out? I mean, I feel like they should. There we go. They thought about staying and fighting and then changed their minds entirely. DieZaCRo is a good Zerg player. He's replanting his hatch that he lost there, but not a good place to be, as it turns out. 177 to 141 total supply. PengWin is in control of this game. 100% absolutely, but infestors with pathogen lands coming in for DieZaCRo. As we all know, infestors can be game changers, especially in ZVZ. We'll see how this works out. What does PengWin have? PengWin has 46 roaches, 12 mutas. Again, the mutas trying to do stuff here at the third base, but a lot of queens defending that pretty well. 6 queens to be exact. No attack upgrades on those dudes, but anyway, so 46 roaches and 12 mutas, no hydralisks, no lings, no banes, and a single hydra. Rather, a single hydralisk for PengWin. 28 roaches for DieZaCRo, 8 infestor, and 4 ravagers for the red Zerg player. Map control is pretty well achieved by these Mutalisks. I don't know if the roaches and ravagers want to move across the map while there's a group of 12 mutas out there. Seems like a good solid number to attain. Roaches for PengWin, checking to make sure there's not a 4th base down here in the bottom left, and there's just not. Trying to run on in, kill a ravager, killing a baneling here, trying to get in this natural base and just wreak some havoc. They do manage to pick off a queen. Can they get the queen? Queen's running for it. No, they get her. They get her, and a bunch of drones at the same time. I feel like these mutas could do some damage if they want, but the queens are still there at the third base, so never mind. The roaches get all cleaned up. DieZaCRo does manage to get rid of the infestation inside his natural base. 12 workers killed by PengWin and 11 killed by DieZaCRo. Roaches, ravagers moving on in. 10 lurkers in production at once for PengWin. That puts him up 200 supply out of 200 available. 158 is what we've got out of DieZaCRo. Another Nidus Swarm eruption here, and I think DieZaCRo can see this. He can. He's moving everybody back, making a whole ton of ravagers. He's just going straight ravager right now, isn't he? Yeah, he's down to 7 total roaches. Here we go. Lurkers moving out into this main base, trying to get themselves in a nice place to burrow, possibly at the top of this ramp. And there they go, burrowing at the top of the ramp. And now DieZaCRo can't get in here. Corrosive Bile's landing, though, forcing a pickup and a reburrow by PengWin, and actually getting some nice shots off here on these roaches, on these ravagers. A Corrosive Bile fire from heaven, though. Excellently well held there indeed. Another big attack by PengWin coming up to this third base, focusing down the hatchery. And they get it, trying to get these queens at the same time. They're transfusing themselves, but they can't transfuse themselves forever. As it turns out, queens all completely gone. Ravagers coming in to avenge the deaths of their queens. 4th base completed for PengWin. His opponent is on 2 bases right now. Mutalisks flying right on in, saying, "What up, Ravagers? You want to try to kill us? You want to try to Corrosive Bile us? We're on top of you. You will hit yourselves." Ha 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 ha. Ha ha ha. 11 Hydralisks in production for PengWin right now, making that transition into Roach Hydra. After all those lurkers, did he lose all those lurkers? I think he did. 10 lurkers killed. None left on the field there. Mutalisks just picking off roaches, running around, trying to be effective as much as they possibly can. Another big attack up here. DieZaCRo pushing for it, pushing away at least. PengWin who's coming in to kill that third base once again. But it is 4 bases for PengWin. 34 to 49 harvesters. PengWin up very, very strongly right now. Infestor on the way for DieZaCRo again. I'm not sure he's actually used one to some point. He still has this Nidus Worm inside the main base of DieZaCRo. What is going on? Alright, Ravagers come in to shut that thing down. We don't like there being an instant access port into our base, as it turns out. That is absolutely fair enough. Some roaches popping out for PengWin. For the purpose of I'm not entirely sure what. I guess maybe to try to kill a Ravager. Oh, they get a Ravager. They get a single Ravager there. Good job. Good job there, son. Good job, son, Roach. Alright, so PengWin's up 207 total supply. I think it's time to go. +2 missile attack is done. He's got his Lurkers back. That's what he made those Hydras for. 10 Lurkers. 10 Lurkers. Lurkers burrowing in, trying to get these Ravagers. Roaches assisting at the same time. Big time battle right about here. Roaches are walking right on top of everything DieZaCRo has, and that is it. A good game out of DieZaCRo. DieZaCRo is defeated, and PengWin was victorious. Great job there by PengWin, using Nidus worms, using Lurkers, Roaches, Mutalisks. Again, not going mass muta, but enough to be moderately effective. Resources lost here, telling the tale. 16,000 resources lost for the Red Zerg player DieZaCRo, and a mere 7,000 or 8,000 for PengWin. So great job by both of these players, and that's going to be it from me. So this has been Falcon Paladin, coming to you with yet another daily Legacy of the Void upload. Go ahead and hit that like button. Hit the subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, and Patreon, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.